Welcome back to Stamps Old World UK. Today we are exploring one of the most iconic and recognizable stamps in American philatelic history, the famous 5-cent George Washington blue stamp from the United States postage series. This small piece of paper may look simple at first glance, but behind its deep blue color and classic portrait lies over a century of history, collecting passion, printing variations, and surprising market values that continue to attract stamp collectors all around the world. Whether you are a beginner collector, an investor in rare stamps, or simply someone curious about old postal history, this video will take you deep into the story, rarity, and current market value of this incredible stamp. The stamp you are seeing features George Washington, the first president of the United States. Washington has appeared on more American stamps than any other historical figure because he symbolizes the birth of the nation and the early foundations of American history. This particular 5-cent blue Washington stamp belongs to the early 20th century definitive issues produced by the United States Post Office. These stamps were used for everyday mailing purposes and millions were printed, but not every example is equal in value. Small differences in perforation, watermark, printing method, condition, centering, gum quality, and cancellation marks can change the value dramatically. When collectors first look at this stamp, they often think it is just another common old American issue. However, experienced philatelists know that identifying the exact variety is extremely important. Some versions of this 5-cent Washington stamp are worth only a few dollars, while rare varieties in exceptional condition can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auctions. This is why stamp collecting remains one of the most exciting hobbies in the world. A tiny detail invisible to the naked eye can completely transform an ordinary stamp into a hidden treasure. The design itself is elegant and classic. George Washington is shown in profile facing left, surrounded by decorative ornaments and the words US postage at the top and 5 cents at the bottom. The rich blue color gives the stamp a royal and historical appearance that collectors admire even today. The engraving work used during this period was incredibly detailed compared to modern printing methods. Every line on Washington's hair and face was carefully engraved by master craftsmen, making these stamps miniature works of art. Now let us talk about the historical period in which this stamp was issued. During the early 1900s, the United States postal system was expanding rapidly. Letters, postcards, business documents, and packages were traveling across America every day through railroads and steamships. Stamps like this 5-cent Washington played a major role in communication during a time long before email, smartphones, or social media existed. Every stamp carried not only postage value but also represented the technological and social development of the country. One reason collectors love these Washington stamps is because they belong to what is often called the Washington-Franklin era. This period of American philately is famous for its enormous number of varieties and printing differences. Collectors spend years studying shades, perforations, watermarks, and printing techniques to identify exact catalog numbers. Some stamps were printed flat plate, while others were rotary press printed. Some have single-line watermarks while others have double-line watermarks. Even the perforation gauge can mean the difference between a $5 stamp and a $500 stamp. Today's market value depends heavily on condition. If your stamp has strong color, clean perforations, no tears, no creases, and good centering, collectors will pay much more. Mint examples with original gum are especially desirable because many old stamps were heavily used through the mail system. Used copies with clear postmarks can also be valuable if they belong to scarcer varieties. A professionally graded example can command impressive prices in the international stamp market. In today's stamp market, a common used 5-cent blue Washington stamp may sell for around $2 to $20 depending on condition and exact type. Better centered examples or scarcer perforation varieties may reach $50 to $150. Mint condition examples with original gum can easily climb to several $100s. Rare specialized varieties identified by expert certification may achieve auction results between $1,000 and $5,000 or even more if the condition is exceptional and demand among collectors is high. This is why identification is extremely important before selling any old stamp. Many collectors make the mistake of cleaning or repairing stamps, thinking it will increase the value. In reality, repairs and alterations usually reduce collector interest significantly. Serious buyers prefer original condition even if the stamp shows signs of age. A natural old stamp with honest wear is often worth more than a damaged stamp that has been repaired poorly. If you own old stamps inherited from family members, Always handle them carefully with stamp tongs and store them in protective albums or stock books away from moisture and sunlight. Another fascinating aspect of this stamp is the global demand for classic American philately. Collectors from the United Kingdom, Germany, India, Japan, Canada, and many other countries actively search for historical United States stamps. Auction houses regularly feature Washington Franklin issues because they remain popular among both advanced philatelists and beginner collectors. The market continues to stay strong because these stamps connect history, art, printing technology, and investment potential into one collectible item. The internet has also transformed the stamp market. Years ago, collectors needed to visit local stamp clubs or physical auctions. Today, collectors can buy and sell stamps worldwide through online marketplaces and specialized philatelic websites. Because of this global access, rare examples of stamps can achieve higher prices than ever before. At the same time, collectors must be careful of fake listings and counterfeit stamps. Expert certificates from trusted philatelic organizations are often necessary for expensive stamps. One interesting fact about George Washington stamps is that many were printed in massive quantities, but surviving high-grade examples are surprisingly difficult to find. Most stamps from this era were used roughly on letters and packages. Many were damaged, thrown away, or exposed to poor storage conditions over the decades. As a result, perfectly preserved examples with bright color and sharp perforations are becoming increasingly rare. This scarcity drives prices upward among serious collectors competing for the best examples. Collectors also study postmarks found on these stamps. A clear historical cancellation from a famous city or unusual location can add additional interest and value. Some collectors specialize only in postal history, focusing on how stamps were used on covers and envelopes rather than collecting loose stamps. A complete envelope bearing this 5-cent Washington stamp from an important historical event or rare route could be worth significantly more than the stamp alone. The emotional side of stamp collecting is just as important as the financial value. Every old stamp carries a silent story from the past. Imagine the letters this stamp may have traveled with over 100 years ago. It may have carried family news, business documents, military correspondence, or messages between loved ones separated by long distances. These tiny artifacts connect us directly with real human history in a way that few collectibles can achieve. For beginner collectors watching this video, remember that knowledge is the key to success in philately. Learn about perforations, watermarks, paper types, and catalog identification. Use magnifying glasses and perforation gauges to study your stamps carefully. Join online collecting communities and read stamp catalogs whenever possible. The more you learn, the more exciting the hobby becomes. Sometimes the rarest treasure is hidden in an old album waiting to be discovered. The stamp market itself has experienced interesting changes in recent years. While some modern stamps lose value quickly, classic historical issues like this Washington stamp continue attracting collectors because they represent a golden age of stamp engraving and postal history. Wealthy collectors and investors often view rare stamps as alternative assets similar to coins, art, or historical documents. Exceptional pieces continue breaking records at international auctions, proving that philately remains alive and respected worldwide. If you own a similar stamp and want to know its exact value, proper identification is essential. Examine the perforation size, check for watermarks, compare the color shade, and study the printing details carefully. Two stamps that appear identical to beginners may have completely different catalog numbers and market values. Some specialized versions are extremely rare and highly sought after by advanced collectors. As we conclude today's journey into the world of the 5-cent George Washington blue stamp, we can see why this small piece of postal history continues fascinating collectors after more than a century. It represents American history, beautiful engraving craftsmanship, postal communication, and the excitement of collecting rare treasures. From common affordable copies to rare auction-quality examples worth thousands of dollars, this stamp remains one of the most beloved classics in the world of philately. Next up, the famous 5-cent Benjamin Franklin stamp. This remarkable stamp is not just a tiny piece of paper. It is a true symbol of early American communication, classic stamp engraving, and one of the greatest treasures in the world of philately. For collectors, historians, and investors alike, the Benjamin Franklin issues remain among the most respected and valuable stamps ever produced. In today's video, we will explore the history behind this incredible stamp, its printing background, its importance in stamp collecting, and of course the exciting market values these stamps can reach in today's international collector market. When people think about classic American stamps, two names almost always appear first: George Washington and Benjamin Franklin. Benjamin Franklin was one of the founding fathers of the United States, a scientist, inventor, diplomat, and most importantly for postal history, the first Postmaster General of America. Because of his contribution to the postal system, Franklin became one of the earliest and most frequently featured figures on United States stamps. This beautiful reddish-brown 5-cent stamp featuring Franklin is one of the most iconic designs from the 19th century. At first glance, this stamp may appear simple, but experienced collectors immediately recognize its historical significance. The portrait of Benjamin Franklin is surrounded by elegant classical engraving details, with the words U.S. Post Office at the top and 5 cents at the bottom. The design reflects the artistic style of early American engraving, where stamps were produced with extraordinary craftsmanship and precision. Even after more than 150 years, the detail and beauty of this stamp continue to impress collectors around the world. This particular stamp belongs to the classic period of United States philately, a golden age for stamp collectors. During the mid-19th century, stamps were still relatively new in global communication systems. Before stamps existed, postal charges were often paid by the person receiving the letter rather than the sender. The introduction of adhesive postage stamps completely changed the way mail was handled. It made communication more organized, reliable, and efficient. Stamps like this Benjamin Franklin issue played a major role in the development of modern postal systems. One of the reasons this stamp is so famous is because it comes from an era when stamp printing technology was still developing. Every stamp was carefully engraved by hand onto printing plates by skilled artists and craftsmen. Unlike modern digital printing, these early stamps required incredible human precision. Tiny engraved lines created the portrait, lettering, and decorative frame. Because of this process, each stamp carries a level of artistry rarely seen in modern postage stamps. Now let us discuss the market value, because this is where things become truly fascinating. The value of a classic Benjamin Franklin stamp depends on several important factors. The exact year of issue, condition, margins, color shade, cancellation marks, and authenticity all play critical roles in determining value. Some common versions may sell for around $20 to $100, while rare examples in exceptional condition can reach thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars at major stamp auctions. Collectors pay extremely close attention to margins on classic stamps like this one. In early stamp production, sheets were often cut by hand with scissors instead of perforated. Because of this, many stamps ended up with uneven or damaged margins. A stamp with large balanced margins on all four sides is considered highly desirable and much more valuable. A perfectly centered example with rich color and clean paper can attract intense competition among collectors. Condition is another massive factor. If the stamp has no tears, no thinning, no heavy creases, and retains a strong clear impression, its value rises dramatically. Mint examples without cancellation marks are extremely rare because most stamps from this era were used on mail. Used examples with attractive postmarks are also highly collectible, especially when the cancellation does not heavily cover Franklin's portrait. Some Benjamin Franklin stamps are especially valuable because they belong to rare printings or special issues. Certain varieties printed on different paper types or with unique shades are among the greatest treasures in American philately. Expert collectors spend years studying tiny details under magnification to identify rare types. Two stamps that appear almost identical to beginners may actually have completely different catalog values. Today, collectors around the world continue searching for classic Franklin stamps. The global stamp market remains active, with collectors from Europe, Asia, the Middle East, and North America competing for high-quality 19th-century American stamps. Auction houses regularly feature rare Franklin issues because they continue attracting serious buyers and investors. Some rare examples have achieved astonishing prices at international philatelic auctions. In today's market, an average used Benjamin Franklin 5-cent stamp from the 19th century may sell between $30 and $300 depending on quality and identification. Better condition examples with strong margins and attractive appearance can easily rise to $500 or $1,000. Rare identified varieties or exceptional certified examples may sell for several $1,000s or even much more. Covers and envelopes bearing these stamps can sometimes be even more valuable, especially if connected to important historical events or unusual postal routes. One of the most exciting aspects of stamp collecting is the possibility of hidden discoveries. Many valuable stamps are still sitting unnoticed inside old family albums, antique collections, and inherited boxes stored in attics or cupboards. Some people do not realize the historical and financial value hidden in their collections. This is why stamp collecting continues to inspire treasure hunters and history lovers around the world. Another important point for collectors is authenticity. Because valuable classic stamps can command high prices, counterfeit examples also exist. Serious collectors often rely on expert certificates from professional philatelic organizations to confirm authenticity. These certificates provide confidence for both buyers and sellers in the marketplace. If you believe you own a rare Franklin stamp, professional expertization may be worth considering. The story behind these stamps is also deeply connected to American history itself. During the 19th century, letters carried by these stamps traveled through expanding railroads, steamships, and horse-drawn postal routes across a rapidly growing nation. Every stamp may have carried personal family messages, legal papers, military correspondence, or business communications. Holding such a stamp today is like holding a direct connection to real people and real moments from history. Collectors also admire the artistic elegance of classic American stamp engraving. Modern stamps often use photographs or digital printing methods, but these old engraved issues possess a timeless beauty. The fine lines, balanced layout, and handcrafted appearance make them miniature works of art. This artistic appeal is one reason why classic stamps remain highly respected among collectors even in the digital age. The rise of online marketplaces has made stamp collecting more global than ever before. Today collectors can buy, sell, trade, and study stamps with people from all around the world. Digital stamp communities, online auctions, and philatelic forums have introduced a new generation to the hobby. At the same time, the demand for genuine high-quality classic stamps remains extremely strong because supply is limited and historical interest continues growing. For beginners entering the world of philately, the Benjamin Franklin issues are an excellent area to study. They teach collectors about engraving, postal history, condition grading, identification, and market evaluation. Learning how to identify paper types, cancellations, and printing methods can transform a simple hobby into a lifelong passion filled with historical discovery and collecting excitement. As we come to the end of today's exploration, it becomes clear why the 5-cent Benjamin Franklin stamp remains one of the greatest icons in stamp collecting history. It represents the birth of American postal communication, the beauty of classic engraving craftsmanship, and the thrill of discovering hidden historical treasures. Whether worth a few dollars or many thousands, every surviving example carries a story from the past that still lives on today through collectors and historians. Next up, the famous 1-cent Benjamin Franklin stamp. This beautiful blue stamp may appear small and simple, but it represents an incredible chapter in postal history and remains one of the most collected classic stamps in the world today. For stamp collectors, historians, and investors, the 1-cent Franklin stamp is far more than just postage. It is a historical artifact, a masterpiece of engraving, and a symbol of the early American postal system that connected millions of people across a rapidly growing nation. Benjamin Franklin is one of the most important figures in American history and one of the most recognizable faces in philately. As the first Postmaster General of the United States, Franklin played a huge role in organizing and improving the postal system during the early years of the country. Because of his contribution to communication and public service, his portrait appeared on many classic United States stamps throughout the 19th and 20th centuries. Among them, the 1-cent Franklin issue became especially famous because it was widely used for newspapers, postcards, printed matter, and everyday mailing services. The design of this stamp is elegant and instantly recognizable. The deep blue portrait of Franklin is surrounded by decorative scroll work and classic engraving patterns that reflect the artistic style of 19th-century stamp production. At the top are the words U.S. postage, while the bottom proudly displays the denomination 1 cent. Even though this stamp was created for ordinary postal use, the craftsmanship behind its engraving makes it feel like a miniature work of art. During the era when this stamp was issued, communication was completely different from today. There were no emails, mobile phones, or instant messaging applications. Letters and printed materials traveled long distances through trains, ships, horse-drawn wagons, and early postal routes. Stamps like this 1 cent Franklin carried the personal stories of millions of people across America. Business documents, family news, political messages, and newspaper publications all depended on the postal system. This small stamp became an important part of daily life during a period of enormous national growth. One reason collectors are fascinated by this stamp is because there are many different varieties and printings. To beginners, many 1-cent Franklin stamps may look almost identical, but experienced philatelists know that tiny differences can completely change the market value. Variations in perforation, paper type, watermark, color shade, grill patterns, and printing methods are extremely important in identifying the exact catalog number of a stamp. Some 1-cent Franklin issues were printed in enormous quantities, making them relatively affordable for beginner collectors. However, certain rare varieties are among the most valuable stamps in American philately. A single difference in perforation or paper type can increase value dramatically. This is why advanced collectors spend years studying magnification details, printing methods, and historical records to properly identify these classic issues. Condition plays a massive role in determining value. A stamp with bright original color, clean perforations, and strong centering is far more desirable than one with heavy damage or poor appearance. Many old stamps were roughly handled during postal use, so high-grade surviving examples are becoming increasingly difficult to find. Collectors carefully examine for tears, creases, thins, fading, repairs, and gum condition before determining market value. Today's market values for 1-cent Benjamin Franklin stamps vary greatly depending on the exact issue and condition. Common used examples may sell for around $5 to $30. Better quality examples with strong centering and attractive appearance may range between $50 and $300. Scarce varieties identified by experts can reach thousands of dollars, especially if they are in mint condition or professionally certified. Some of the rarest Franklin varieties from the 19th century have achieved astonishing auction prices that shocked even experienced collectors. One of the most exciting aspects of collecting classic Franklin stamps is the possibility of hidden treasures. Many valuable stamps remain undiscovered in old collections inherited from parents or grandparents. Some people unknowingly own rare varieties because they appear similar to common stamps at first glance. This sense of mystery and discovery is one reason stamp collecting remains such an exciting hobby around the world. Collectors also love these stamps because they represent the beauty of traditional engraved printing. Unlike modern digital stamps, these classic issues were created through highly skilled engraving techniques. Master engravers carefully carved detailed portraits and ornamental designs into steel plates. The result was a stamp with remarkable depth, texture, and artistic elegance. Even after more than a century, these engraved lines remain sharp and beautiful under magnification. Another important factor affecting value is cancellation marks. Some collectors prefer lightly cancelled examples where Franklin's portrait remains clearly visible. Others specifically collect historical postmarks from certain cities, railway routes, or important events. A rare cancellation can sometimes make a common stamp much more desirable. Entire envelopes with original stamps attached, known as covers, can also carry significant value if they have historical importance or unusual postal routes. The global stamp market continues to show strong interest in classic American stamps like the 1-cent Franklin. Collectors from the United Kingdom, Europe, Asia, and North America actively compete for quality examples. Auction houses regularly feature rare Franklin issues because demand remains high among advanced philatelists and investors. Many collectors consider classic engraved American stamps among the finest postal issues ever produced. Modern technology has also transformed the world of stamp collecting. Today collectors can research catalog numbers online, participate in digital auctions, and connect with philatelists across the world. Social media and online collecting forums have introduced younger generations to the hobby. Despite the digital age, historical stamps continue attracting collectors because they offer something physical, artistic, and deeply connected to history. For beginner collectors watching this video, learning to identify classic Franklin stamps can become a rewarding journey. Start by studying perforation gauges, watermark detection, and catalog references. Use stamp tongs to handle stamps safely and store them properly in albums or stock books. Never use tape or glue on stamps because damage can reduce value significantly. Knowledge and patience are the keys to becoming a successful collector. Another fascinating detail about these stamps is how they survive through time. Think about the journey each stamp may have taken over 100 years ago. It may have traveled on letters carried by steam locomotives across the American frontier or crossed oceans on ships carrying international mail. Every surviving stamp represents a tiny witness to real historical moments and human stories from the past. As stamp collecting continues evolving, classic issues like the 1-cent Benjamin Franklin remain timeless treasures. They combine art, history, rarity, and investment potential into one collectible item. Whether someone collects for enjoyment, education, or financial investment, Franklin stamps continue inspiring people all around the world. Their beauty and historical importance ensure they will remain valuable to collectors for generations to come. As we conclude today's journey into the history and market value of the 1-cent Benjamin Franklin stamp, it becomes clear why this small blue stamp remains one of the greatest icons in American philately. From its role in early postal communication to its status as a collectible treasure worth anywhere from a few dollars to many thousands, this stamp continues fascinating collectors across the globe. Thank you for watching Stamps Old World UK. If you enjoy discovering rare stamps, hidden values, historical treasures, and exciting philatelic stories, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss future videos. Share this video with fellow stamp collectors and leave a comment below telling us if you own any old Benjamin Franklin stamps or which rare stamp you would like to see featured next on the channel. Until next time, keep collecting, keep protecting history, and remember that every old stamp carries a story that still lives on today.